So before we begin, I had something else I wanted to talk about. So I'm going to laugh about something else in the hopes that I remember what the fuck that was, because I totally forget now. Oh, I almost had it. I remember now. Okay. Alright. So since I teased it, I'm trying to get the guys, figure out what the fuck classes they're going to be, so that I can make a really sweet, like, intro for the game and post it and everything, so everybody knows kind of more what's going on, and people can get more jazzed about it, just pump it up, right? And so I'm trying to get them to fucking tell me what 3 people are solid on their idea. They got what they want. And 3 people are not really in the Discord server very often. So, and one dude, well, 2 people are not in the Discord server very often, and one dude is just kind of like, he's new to all of it, so he's kind of like, I like the idea of playing this, I like the idea of playing that, I'll play whatever though, I don't care, I'm just glad to be here. Like, so, God bless him, like, that's pretty awesome, I love that shit. So, that's a widget that can fit in all holes, you know what I mean? It's a multi-slot widget. Love that shit, fits everywhere. Perfect. But I'm sitting there and I'm looking at what they've decided so far. And I mean, we've got 3 people that are solid, 1 person that's leaning towards this or that, 1 person that's looking at that, and 1 person that's looking at this, right? And I'm looking at it all going, who's going to heal him? Because we got 1 dude playing Rocker Boy, which ain't a fucking healer. And we've got another dude who's playing Netrunner, which is not a healer. And we've got another dude who's playing Nomad, which could be a healer, but it's not a healer. Like, you could say, yeah, my role in the family was healer. I mean, that happens. You got, Ripper Docs for the Nomads and shit like that. The dude could be the healer, but, like, you'd think he'd want to be a trained healer as opposed to just some nomad that knows how to put a bandage on it. So I'm just kind of like, and then one dude's thinking about tech, another guy's thinking about fixer. Both of them, not healer. I can understand why fixer might confuse you. You might think, well, he fixes people. It's reasonable. That's a reasonable thought, but no, not a healer. The medic class. That's the healer. I believe it's actually called medic. Right? Med techie. Yeah, there's a tech. And then a med techie. Med techie. Cleric. Priest. Shugenja. Shaman. You're trying to think of all the other things. So who's playing? There's so many times. I mean, I've played so many games. And perhaps I'm just different than other people. Because, Vampire I played a lot. And Vampire is easy. You heal yourself. You just drink blood and you heal yourself. You don't need a healer. What the fuck you need a healer for? It's called the herd. Anyways. And then, werewolves regenerate. Don't need a healer. You just fucking walk it off, man. And, all werewolves can kind of learn healing gifts, you know what I mean? It's a pretty general gift to heal, like lay hands and shit like that. So, and there are people, but you don't need, you fucking regenerate. So, most wounds you shrug off. Anything bashing or lower, you just don't even fucking take. You don't bother to mark it on your character sheet. And it's nothing. So it's gotta be slashing her up. And slashing only lasts 1 turn. And then you're healed. You only really take aggravated damage. And that shit takes a lot of fucking effort. But you don't really need a healer to do it yourself. So whenever I asked this question in those games, but whenever I played Shadowrun, who's going to do all the healing stuff? Who's beating a shaman? Whenever I played Legend of Five Rings, who's going to be Shugenja? Right? Who's going to be our healer? And these guys are like, fuck yeah, man, I'm going to be a rocker boy. you know, like, and they're sitting there thinking of all the cool things that they want to be, not remembering somebody has to be, you know, the unsung hero, the guy nobody wants to play, but everybody fucking needs. Who's gonna keep us alive? So this could be a short game. I don't know. People have been thinking, you know, people have talked about how Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles sounds like a really good next game. People who might be interested in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles start thinking now, I think. Because without a healer, shit, I don't know. Second thing I had is a funny anecdote from work. Driving my tow motor along first thing in the morning, saying hi to everyone, because it's like, you know, us shippers, we have our little end of the warehouse. We're all the way at the far end of the warehouse, right, where there's the most room in random corners and shit for us to kind of stash shit. That's what we need as shippers. We need room to stash shit. And then you go about halfway down, and you get to all the receivers, all the guys that bring shit in. And I kind of go down, you know, first thing in the morning, I'll either see that we have no skids set out, and I'll be like, I'll go get skids. And then I'll fucking go get skids, which means I travel the whole length of the warehouse and then the whole fucking length that way, and grab skids all the way in that corner and put it all the fucking way back. Shit like that. So I usually wind up at some point going into the other building early in the morning, and you know, I say hi to one dude, and the other guy looks at me with this sullen, miserable, pissed off look, which is like his normal. Like, you just look at the dude, you just feel miserable for him. I don't know. Like, he's difficult to explain. I can't even get into that dude because I still can't even wrap my fucking mind around it. Sometimes I literally think he's trying to commit suicide, and he kind of scares me a little bit. But so I say hi to those guys, and then, you know, there's the one really loud dude, you know, and I'm like, and then, you know, I kind of make my turn to go and get skids, and he kind of walked, you know, in the aisle, you know, because there's aisles and shit like that. It's a weird layout to the warehouse. It works. So he kind of walks down the aisles. He's like, hey, and I'm like, what? And I stop, and he's like, the other day, did you hear what happened? And I'm like, because I'm thinking to myself, fucking shit. For 2 days in a row. 2 fucking days. Friday was fine. She never talked to me. We did our job. It was awesome, right? And then yesterday, same thing. She never talked to me. We did our jobs. No problems, right? It's been fucking great for 2 days straight. Now I'm like, fuck me, what happened? Because I'm like, man, I wanted a 3rd day in a row. I just wanted to break a record, you know? So, oh shit, my pizza's here. Hello? Uh-huh. Ah, you got the Cajun? Ah, I'll take that. All right. Okay. It makes me feel really good about my fucking food. He called me to tell me they're all out of the lemon pepper rub. So I'm like, we got the Cajun. You heard? And he's, yeah, we got that. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, how about that? And he's like, there's just nothing. And I'm like, and he just hung up. Okay. Alright. He's busy. He's at work. Why the fuck would he want to sit on the phone with me to bother to tell me, alright, we're good, cool. No. Whatever. Alright, we'll see. That's why I got chicken. Can't fuck that up. Well, you can, but if they send me raw chicken, then it has to go on Twitter. Anyways, so I'm like, what happened? And he goes, she came back here the other day. She's talking shit about you. And I'm like, oh, okay. Because I'm like, I don't fucking care. She didn't like me. I don't like her. I don't talk to anybody. She talks to everybody. So I wait until I hear exactly this sort of thing that I'm about to hear, and then I talk shit about her back. Because I am also a child. But I'm a child in that I think it's just funny. So I go up to people, like I go up to my boss and I go, can you listen to a funny anecdote without being upset and thinking that you have to do anything about it? And he goes, and he goes, yeah. This is very funny. So he's like, yeah, she was back here talking shit about you. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Because I'm like, I don't fucking care. And he's like, well, you know, he's like, the manager back here was not having it. And I'm like, oh, well, good on him. It's about time somebody fucking stands up to her other than me, you know? And he goes, yeah, he's like, he looked at her and he was like, fucking don't talk that shit about him. I see that motherfucker work all the time and I see you talking to us right now. What the fuck are you doing? I'm like, because like, it's real, like honestly when it comes down to it, it's really fucking sad. It's really like just a heartbreaking example of what our society has devolved into when it comes down to it. The bosses, they just wish we'd work. You know what I mean? They don't pay us to have personal interactions. They pay us to pick shit from the fucking rows and stage it up to ship and then fucking ship it. That's what they pay us for. That's all they fucking want from us. Just shut the fuck up with the rest of this shit. Don't talk to each other. If you're gonna have these problems, don't talk to each other. Just work. But it just can't happen that way. So I'm of that mindset. I don't want problems. So I'm just gonna work. And they just always want to talk to me. And I'm like, and then problems. Because they talk, just leave me alone. Let me work. Whatever. So it's sad. Because the bosses just wish we'd work. I could fucking care less. I just wish we'd work. Right? She, I don't even fucking know what's going on in her head. But like the other dude that we work with, like I don't know if any of the stories are true or not, but he's made a boogeyman of her. So he just is friends with her because he doesn't want any blowback from doing anything that might displease her. Right? And like it's bad. It's bad. They're not good stories. It's bad. I'm not going to tell them. They're not my stories to tell. But it's bad. And I'm sitting there looking at him as he's telling me all this, and I'm like, because here I am looking at the dude at work that's being taken advantage of because of things like Me Too and shit like that. Here he is, kind of at her, you know, she has ultimate control over the poor man. We're going to go to break together. And he goes, oh, cool. You know what I mean? And then he looks at me like, and I'm like, fuck, tell her fuck off. You know what I mean? Like, tell her to go and fuck herself. I'm like pantomiming this. Tell her to fuck herself. Like, and he laughs, and I'm like, no, fuck you. It's not a joke. Do it. Grow some balls. Stand up for yourself. Tell him to fuck off. But still, I can't wait to have lunch with you. I got to talk to you about this. And he's like, and I'm like, oh my God. Like, go out for lunch, dude. Just fucking come to McDonald's with me every day. You know what I mean? Why do you think I leave every day? Why do you think I don't sit in the break room with you guys? Because I don't want to fucking talk to her. And I don't want to hear her talk. And she can't stop. So I go to fucking McDonald's. This is why I've been doing that for fucking 15 years. You know what I mean? So and then you've got the whole other end of the building. And they are more or less equal parts, like openly hostile to her or just fucking ignore her. like I do. I just fucking ignore her. And there's a couple of people over there that just fucking ignore her. And then you got a couple of people that are openly hostile to her. Like the one dude that's just miserable. Sometimes he'll walk through the fucking warehouse, just his slow, miserable, just go ahead and fucking hit me plod. You know what I mean? And she'll scream something, and he'll just be like, God, I wish you'd shut the fuck up. It's so sad. Like, nobody likes her. But everybody acts like they like her because that's easier than just fucking having to deal with her. Like, as long as I guess we're fucking fine and you're cool with me and you just don't treat me like shit like you do whenever you're angry with me, then whatever the fuck, you know, I'll just... Yeah, I can't wait to go to break. And then you watch him die inside, and it's so sad. Ugh. And whatever. I just wish we'd work. Like, that's my position on all of it. I just wish we'd work. But, thought it was funny. Alright. We're 20 minutes in. Now the review. So I watched Monster Hunter last night. It was available for me to watch. Somebody in the Discord was like, watch Monster Hunter. And I'm like, alright. Because now I'm running the numbers in my fucking head. I'm thinking to myself, how much Monster Hunter has this dude played? Does that mean it's meh to the games? Does that mean it's meh? I don't know what the fuck it's about anyways, but I watched it. And it's meh. You know, like, I don't know. So I'm like, alright, okay, fine. You know, there was a moment of panic, and I'm like, okay, so it's fucking out now. So I check. No, it's not. I still gotta wait till Tuesday. Fuck. And so then I was like, And I looked, you know, around just to see if there was a special button in there that I could push that it would be like, oh yeah, you get it 2 days early. You know, like, I don't know. I was looking for that. And I found it. But it was like a really shitty recording, so I'm like, ugh, I'll wait 2 days. Right, it's 2 days, I heard about it, fuck it. So, I waited, and I watched it last night. The clock turned midnight, I refreshed the program, it said you can watch it, I went, fuck yeah, turned off the light, started watching the movie. It started, and I was like, okay, this is pretty cool, right? I'm like, that's very cool. The opening scene, it starts off kind of introducing the Monster Hunter world. And so, you know, it's shit going on there. Boats sailing, and, you know, it gets attacked by big monsters, and then all the fucking hunters are like, oh shit. And then our hunter for the movie, he's chucked off the boat, and right? He's still alive. Fade out. Right? That's pretty much the beginning of the movie. And I was like, that's really fucking cool. Because it had all the Monster Hunter elements. You know what I mean? It was a cool boat. The hunters, right? They're all fucking around, eating, and having a good time, partying, waiting to get where they're going so that they can hunt some fucking monsters, because that's just all they fucking do. And it had, you know, like the handlers were all sitting there with their fucking big-ass goofy glasses and shit like that. And you got to see... I think you got to see the Admiral in the first part. I'm not sure. I think so. Yeah. And like the storyline was pretty cool. It's the game-ish storyline. It's not one of the, I don't think it's one of the actual game storylines. But it's something like you'd fucking find a game, you know, whatever. It's essentially, it was Pacific Rim. Like, it's not really even ruining anything for you. But it's Pacific Rim. It's like the sequel, which, holy shit, they couldn't have louder said there's going to be a fucking sequel if they'd have fucking wrote out, yeah, we're going to see you again in Monster Hunter 2. Like, dude, it was a very obvious setup for a goddamn sequel. So, the second one is going to be Pacific Rim. Like, it's going to, I mean, I don't think it's going to be giant fucking robots, but it's going to be Pacific Rim. So, like, then we get to... You know, here, shitty world, where nothing cool like that happens. Right? And here's Artemis fucking played by Mila Jovovich. Oh, just love of my life, Mila Jovovich. I just absolutely adore that woman. Every time I just see her in anything, I don't give a fuck what it is. I just love her that much more. So there's Mila Jovovich, and she's listening to a recording. Bravo team, they're upset. There's shit going on. Oh no, gotta go find them, right? So she goes, go find Bravo team, right? And it's just a testament to Mila Jovovich as an actress and the people that write for her. I don't know if she demands this kind of a script or if she's just lucky enough to always fucking get it, but man, she's just untouchable when it comes to the woman that does the best fucking female lead for action movies, all that kind of nonsense. She's as OG as it gets, and she's still as badass as they come. And every fucking movie she's in is fucking amazing. I don't fucking care what you say. Every one of them is amazing. I can't think of a bad Mila Jovovich movie I've ever fucking seen. So, I guess I kind of spoiled my review. This was pretty good. So, but yeah, there she is. And, like, she's in command. She's captain, you know? So, she's gonna rally her troops. So, come on, ladies! Let's mount up, right? And she gets in the car. And one dude gets in the car and he looks at the other guy and he goes, even though she's a woman, she still managed to make that sound insulting. And I started fucking howling. Dude. Because I'm like right there, every feminist is just going to be fucking pissed off. All leftists are just going to get pissed off from that first fucking... It's like, I don't know, maybe the 10th line in the movie, and I'm just imagining clickers just turning the channel, and I'm like, good, fuck off, we don't need you here. Like, you shouldn't be able to enjoy our fun. I don't know why that's a thing, but fuck you, it seems to be working so far. They're getting really pissed off, and I think that's hysterical. Anyways, so, right... We've already established this is not going to be an SJW film. I rejoice. And then, you know, we're going along, and it's more than just that kind of shit. It's the little details. They weren't so blatant ever again in the movie. At that point, it was just because she's a badass. Fucking, fuck you. And, like, you know, they're traveling, horrible things happen. They wind up in a different world. Right? Monster Hunter world. Bam, here we go. But they're trying to fucking find out what the fuck's going on. They're traveling, right? They're driving along. And, you know, she's up in the fucking gunner turret, right? And she's listening to all the troops in the truck talking about what the fuck's going on. And they're kind of, you know, things are starting to get not agitated. Not even really frayed. But it's going down that road. You know what I mean? They're starting to... I don't know about this, man. You know, like, they're getting like that. And she just kind of leans over, and she's listening to a talk, and she just starts pounding out a cadence. Just a 4-beat, you know? And her kind of second in command, right? A black dude, because I guess it matters. He starts, you know, doing a fucking song. And then the rest of the team start to kind of slowly take up the song. And she's singing the song with him and just pounding out. And that's called leadership. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a male or a female thing. Leadership is a thing you know because you're a fucking leader. Your genitalia has nothing to do with it. Ladies need to accept that shit. But that's leadership. Her troops are starting to get agitated. She brings them back to the center, you know what I mean? Brings them back, focused on her, focused on the mission, right? That's called leadership. That fucking horse shit that pink-haired bitch did in Star Wars, not leadership. Just debasing your fucking people in front of all your people and telling them how fucking moronic you think their ideas are when they're the best fucking ideas on the table and everybody can see that shit. That's not leadership. That's being a fucking cunt. Anyways, so... we see all sorts of scenes of her being a leader. Man, I just thought it was a really good movie. It's got a lot of fan service. Which is where I kind of think that it's kind of lost on people that might not really be fans of the game. It's not a knock on people that might not be fans of the game. And if that one dude is a fan of the game and he thinks it's meh, hey, then that's what you thought of it. You thought meh. I thought it was fucking great. It was exactly everything I wanted. I didn't want to see non-stop monsters being thrown at you shit. And there was a whole lot of non-stop monsters being thrown at you shit. But then, when things kind of evened out, and, we started to get into the relationship building, it was a lot like Enemy Mine. For those of you who are very old, I guess, and saw Enemy Mine, great movie. If you haven't seen Enemy Mine, you should watch it. Had a black dude in it, Louis Gossett Jr., but you couldn't tell because he was all covered in fucking prosthetics because he was the alien. But nevertheless, great leap forward. He's also a great actor too, and he was amazing in that fucking role. So whatever. I guess whatever. Fucking whatever that fucking matters. Anyways, Enemy Mine's also a great movie. You should watch it. But there's a lot of Enemy Mine kind of esque-ness to it. And and once it got into that and it kind of evened out, then it wasn't constant fucking monsters. It just turned into Monster Hunter World. You know what I mean? It really showed you how fucking amazingly dangerous the world is if you don't live there. Because, it's an amazingly fucking dangerous goddamn world if you don't live there. Or if you don't have somebody that lives there to teach you shit. And she got lucky. She had somebody from that world that she ran into. There were a lot of amazing fight scenes. That fucking dude, somebody was like, that Tony Jaa man, he's legit. Oh yeah, he's legit. He was fucking great. I thought he was amazing. And her fighting with him, she trained hard for that shit. She was damn good too. She was damn good in the action scenes. So, and a lot of it was her. So, she does a lot of her own stunts. She's pretty badass like that. And she doesn't brag about it. She doesn't talk about how she's the only fucking woman that does it or whatever the fuck. She goes, yeah, it's fun to do stunts. I love doing my stunts. This is just like a normal human would say. This is one without an agenda. That's why I love her. Anyways, so, yeah, there was really good fight scenes. A lot of really cool things happened. And they went into Monster Hunt. It wasn't just, we're going to go out with a weapon and kill it. Because that's not you do that shit. And you have a weekend like I did, and you get pissed off and punch a controller. But if you're smart about it, and you actually plan what you're going to fucking do, and you stick to a plan of some sort, at least try and have one. At least halfway through, fucking just cobble together some shit. Nevertheless, at that point, it's too fucking late. You haven't prepared. Anyways, and they prepared. It showed a lot of scenes of them preparing, and it was slow. And it should be slow, because it's preparation. We plan. Planning is us talking about the plan. Then we do shit, right? And then they did shit. And then plan happened. And then more planning and preparing. And it's Monster Hunter, right? And then they prepared things. They did things that set shit up to be in their fucking best interest. Right? And it's slow. But when the action kicked, man, you were watching a plan unfold. And that, as far as I was concerned, was very entertaining because that's Monster Hunter, right? And then, more things happen and more planning, more fights, and slowed. And then it got really fucking exciting again. And, man, I don't know. I thought it was great. I absolutely loved it. Like I said, a lot of fan service in the movie. There's a lot of fan service in the movie. So, I was just thrilled with it. I thought it was amazing. I thought it was really goddamn good. So, I highly recommend it. Obviously, I've been saying that since the beginning. I'm kind of shitty doing movie reviews. I tell you what I think of it through the whole fucking review, which is I love it. So, I highly recommend it. It's awesome to see a movie that kind of embodies everything that the feminists and the SJW types, what they want, but it would immediately trigger them and make them terribly upset, and they probably fucking hate it and are shitting on her for something. I don't know. Anytime anybody does anything that's really good, I always just assume that somebody's shitting on them. Because we live in Harrison Bergeron. I made that video years ago. But now we live here. Anytime somebody does something that's really cool, everybody's got a shit on them. Yay. So, whatever. I highly recommend it. I thought it was great. It was just a lot of fun. Is the storyline really deep and amazing? And is there twists? No. No, it's pretty fucking standard. She went through a portal to a different world where there's big monsters. And she teamed up with somebody to learn how to fight them. And then she fought them. And now she wants to save Earth because monsters can come through the portal. that sucks for us. Because, shit, big dragons, really nasty. So, that's the story. What more do you need? It's a fucking action movie about a chick fighting giant dragons. Just fucking sit back and enjoy it, man.